This is why bad workouts are so much more valuable than good workouts. Having a bad workout means you still showed up regardless of how you were feeling. And I hate to break it to you, you're not even burning that much more calories when you're working out. That's when you see people go like this for hours on the elliptical machine without really accomplishing much. That's why you see the same people go to the gym every day, and after a year, let's say, they look the same. But if cardio is all you're doing, you're gonna be severely disappointed with your results, or lack thereof. Rucking could be a complete game changer for you. It could very well be the answer you've been looking for. We're taking the minimum effective dose of exercise to the next level here. In this video, I'm gonna give you 5 of my best exercise tips to maximize fat loss, improve your overall health, and longevity. You're gonna be blown away by how simple and effective these tips are. And make sure to stick around until the end because I'm gonna introduce you to a new form of exercise. It's gonna be a complete game changer if you're someone who hates doing cardio and you're not a big fan of going to the gym to lift weights either. A lot of people aren't doing this form of exercise and they're missing out. I can almost guarantee that you're gonna be blown away. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. And if you want to work with me, you can book a free consultation by checking out the link somewhere at the top here or in the description below. Before we get started, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. It really helps support my channel. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with the low-hanging fruit. This is easily one of the best things that you can add to your existing workout routine. If you don't have an exercise routine, adding this one thing alone accomplishes 90% of your exercise requirement for health. Go for a walk 3 times a day. It can be as short as 10, 15, or 20 minutes if you have time. Do that 3 times a day. But even a short 10-minute walk can yield massive benefits. Now, why am I such a big advocate for this? For starters, going for a morning walk is hands down one of the best ways to set up your day for success. From a mental standpoint, it reaffirms this new active and healthy lifestyle you're living. Like if you're someone who works from home or even in an office, it's easy to just lock yourself at home all day and literally just sit for 8 hours. I personally know a lot of people that do that. But did you know that if you sit for 8 hours a day, you have something like a 90% chance of developing diabetes? There are also tremendous benefits when it comes to getting some early morning sun exposure. For example, it boosts your brain production of serotonin. Serotonin is the key hormone that stabilizes mood, feelings of well-being, and happiness. It also helps regulate sleep and digestion. You also get some much-needed vitamin D, which is actually a hormone that regulates your 20,000 genes. It promotes optimal gene expression. It also positively impacts the immune system. Morning sun exposure also helps prevent certain cancers when done in moderation. The problem is, 42% of the US population are vitamin D deficient. And by the way, do you know what actually causes skin cancer? Regular store-bought sunscreen. There was a recent giant recall on a popular brand because their product contained traces of benzene, which is a known carcinogen. I personally used sunscreen a grand total of 0 times when I lived in Mexico for a year, and I didn't burn once even though I was out in the sun every day. If you live near the equator, then getting adequate sun exposure shouldn't be an issue for you. But this is why seasonal depression is real when you live above the 45th parallel if you're in North America. Physically exposing your eyes to daylight first thing in the morning, even just for 5 minutes, also helps set your circadian rhythm, which means you're gonna get better sleep at night because your body is in sync with the rising and setting of the sun. While important fat loss hormones like insulin and cortisol are also going to be better optimized, and you're just going to be a healthier and happier human being because you're well rested. The sun is your friend. One of my biggest takeaways from my research over the past decade is always take whatever mainstream media is promoting with a grain of salt. Because more likely than not, there's always a hidden agenda and billions of dollars are always at stake. Like if a product has a commercial, you probably shouldn't buy it. For example, it's been ingrained in our heads for decades now that saturated fat, red meat, salt, and the sun are bad for us. Instead, we're told to eat more grains, use heart-healthy vegetable oils, avoid butter and red meat, and stay away from the sun. I'm willing to stake a lot of money and all my credibility that if you do the reverse of what I just said, your health will drastically improve. I will debate anyone who's willing to argue with me on that. But first, you need to show me how much visceral adipose tissue you have. Anyway, that's the end of my rant when it comes to conventional stupidity. Back to walking. You can go with a walking buddy to help keep you accountable, or you can use walking as active meditation. Bonus points if you can go for a walk somewhere close to nature, like a park, a trail, or close to a body of water. Extra bonus points if once a month you can get out in the wilderness. Because being in nature, and this has been proven to help reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. There's also a dose response benefit to nature bathing, which means that the more you do it and the more out there you are in the wilderness, the more the benefits. Tip number 2, experiment with new things. There are so many different ways to exercise. You can even combine different things, which is what I do. You can play around and treat it more like fun time. Remember, it's an absolute privilege to move your body. And trust me when I say that you don't need a lot of time to do this. I'm a big proponent of doing the minimum effective dose. Let me tell you my personal progression. I actually didn't start going to the gym until I was around 19. And my brother had to drag me kicking and screaming when I went for the first time. True story. Back then, I started mostly with bodybuilding stuff. I was your typical teenager. I had no idea what I was doing, so I was doing a lot of curls for the girls, which didn't have a big ROI because I was working out a muscle the size of an orange. Then as I matured, I got into more powerlifting stuff. I started doing compound movements like deadlifts, squats, and bench press. I started getting results. And then when I was 25, around 2012, I started doing CrossFit. I saw some people at my gym doing muscle ups and I thought it was the coolest thing. But that strength and conditioning program allowed me to unlock my full genetic potential physically. I'll always have love for CrossFit, which then allowed me eventually to transition into a full-time Olympic weightlifter. I then broke all the provincial records in my weight class. I still hold all those records today. I reached national level status, and I did pretty well in international competition. The whole premise of CrossFit, if you're not familiar with it, is doing constantly varied functional movements done at a high intensity. It's great because it exposed me to a bunch of exercise modalities. But as much as I loved and enjoyed CrossFit, you always have to constantly grow and evolve. Remember, if you're not growing, you're dying. To stay true to this idea of always trying different things, I'm also in a good place now where I'm able to try something new. I'm pretty happy with my physique and my general level of fitness. I finally took up martial arts. I've been wanting to do it for the longest time because I'm a big UFC fan. So I finally started training Muay Thai. I didn't know I'd start training martial arts in my mid-30s, but I'm thankful because I'm absolutely in love with it. It doesn't feel like work when I do it. It puts me in a state of flow. It's really more like play. And my number one goal these days is to always have fun. If it's not fun for me, I won't do it. Life is too short to not have fun. So nowadays, I do Muay Thai 4 days a week. Then I do resistance training twice a week, focusing on compound movements to maintain my muscle. And now I just do 2 to 5 minute CrossFit style micro workouts, and I started rucking to complement my training. And we'll talk about the latter in a second here. I did not know that I'd enjoy martial arts so much that I'd actually revolve my training around it, had I not had the mentality of always trying something new. I also just bought a stand-up paddleboard, so I'll have to find time to integrate that. So always challenge yourself, like experiment with new things. You'll never know what you could possibly fall in love with. Step outside of your comfort zone. Everything that you want is outside of it. Tip number 3, integrate exercise and movement into your routine. In my personal humble opinion, this is the key for everything to work. The main benefit of building a consistent exercise routine, where it just turns into a habit and becomes part of your lifestyle, is that it takes the weakest link for a lot of people out of the equation. I'm talking about motivation. Motivation is garbage. Don't get me wrong. Motivation is great to get people started. The problem is it's fleeting. It's always easy to do things when you're motivated. But what do you do when the going gets hard and you're not motivated anymore? And it's not a matter of if you're going to be demotivated, it's a matter of when. This is coming from coaching thousands of people by proxy for the last decade. That's why I'm not a big fan of factoring in motivation to the equation. Whereas discipline and consistency by following the right system, which is what I get all my coaching clients to develop, is reliable. The key then to success is developing behaviors where you still do the work, even when you're not motivated. To me, that's when the real journey starts. This is why bad workouts are so much more valuable than good workouts. Having a bad workout means you still showed up regardless of how you were feeling. If you can get to a point where you don't think, you just do, whether you're having a good day or the worst day, that's when you start achieving some life-changing results. You're not on this roller coaster ride of starting and stopping time and time again because you tied everything to motivation. That's why New Year's resolutions fail 92% of the time. You need to do 3 key things to turn exercise into a lifestyle. First, you need to set realistic expectations. You need to make peace with yourself that it's going to take some time. You're not going to get it all in one day. This isn't going to be lose 30 pounds in 30 days. You're also most likely going to suck at first, and that's okay. I mentioned in a previous video that I could not do a single pull-up to save my life when I went to the gym for the first time. Next, schedule your workouts. We can be so flaky when it comes to showing up for ourselves. Like if you have a doctor's appointment, you show up to that appointment, right? Treat your workouts the same way. Don't ghost yourself. Lastly, do the minimum effective dose so that if life happens, you have a backup plan. Then take it a step further and have a backup plan to your backup plan. Even if it's just 1 minute of something like air squats and push-ups, it still counts because one is better than none. It's all about not breaking the habit. And I'm going to show you the minimum effective dose in just a second here. Tip number 4, follow some sort of program. This is a very common mistake that I see a lot of people make. They go to the gym and they just do whatever. And that was me when I started. As always, there are levels. The fact that you showed up to the gym is a great first step. But if you're just doing random stuff, you're not going to get very far. Eventually, you're going to get frustrated because of your lack of results, and then you're going to quit. So you need to maximize the time you're there. The bigger problem with not following any sort of programming is that's when people tend to spend 99% of the time on the cardio machine area because it's easy. That's when you see people go like this for hours on the elliptical machine without really accomplishing much. That's why you see the same people go to the gym every day, and after a year, let's say, they look the same. That's a terrible return on their investment. And there's nothing inherently wrong with doing cardio. There's a time and place for it, especially if you know how to do it properly. But if cardio is all you're doing, you're going to be severely disappointed with your results or lack thereof. It could even start working against you if you get into chronic cardio patterns. It's when all you do is cardio or these super intense cardio-based group fitness classes. You go too hard and too frequently with insufficient rest while counting calories burned on the screen or your fitness tracker. You don't want to do that. It's actually terrible for you. That's also when your body transitions to the skinny fat look. It's also now been scientifically proven that calories burned from exercise does not translate to fat burn in the body. Listen, it's important to be consistent, but here's the key. Consistency only works if you're doing the right thing. If you're doing the wrong thing, it doesn't matter that you're the most consistent human being on the planet. It won't work. So you need to follow some sort of system or programming. And again, if you want to work with me, you can book a free consultation by checking out the link somewhere at the top here or in the description below. Tip number 5, don't just revolve your workouts at the gym. For the longest time, I would work out for an hour or however long I was at the gym. But for the rest of the day, you can bet that I would turn into a couch potato. It's called active couch potato syndrome. And if that sounds like you right now, you're still living a mostly sedentary lifestyle. And I hate to break it to you, you're not even burning that much more calories when you're working out. But again, nothing shuts down your fat-burning metabolism faster than prolonged periods of stillness. It also comes with a boatload of negative side effects. You need to move, you're not a tree. You need to aim for at least an hour of movement outside of your workout. It's just as crucial to your success. This is called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. The more NEAT you do, the healthier you'll be. Which brings us full circle to my first tip. The best way to increase NEAT is to just integrate walking more into your lifestyle. For every hour that you're sitting, you need to move for 5 minutes. For every 2 hours, you need to move for 10 minutes. Doing that alone will drastically reduce your risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, and cardiovascular disease. Walking helps with digestion and blood glucose control if you go for a walk after a meal. It alleviates anxiety and depression. It also upregulates your fat-burning metabolism. Basically, it promotes optimal gene expression. That's why walking and getting some sun on your skin is so good for you. Like, if those benefits were packaged, it would be a multi-billion-dollar pill. And I'm giving it to you for free. Like, this one's on me. Now, how do you become more active? You need to find little ways to integrate movement into your routine. Even an extra minute here and a minute there helps. They all add up. Take the stairs instead of the escalator. You should purposely stand even if there are open seats available if you're taking transit. Work using a stand-up desk. Take designated movement breaks. Smokers get smoke breaks. Walk while you're talking on your phone. Walk your dog. If you don't have a dog, walk your neighbor's dog. Get creative. Move your body as if your life depends on it, because it kind of does. Bonus tip, I saved the best for last. This is what you've been waiting for. Get into rucking. If you've never heard of rucking before, it's walking with a weighted backpack. It's actually the foundation of special forces training. If it's good enough for the military's elite, it should be good enough for common folk like you and I. Rucking as a form of exercise is quite unique because it requires strength, endurance, and character, and builds it too. It's great cardio for those who hate cardio, like me, But at the same time, it's a great way to add resistance training to your routine without really adding that much more to your plate. And I've talked about the importance of not overloading the rate of perceived exertion for a lot of people. Again, minimum effective dose. Rucking is amazing if you're not a big fan of going to the gym or you're currently not doing any form of resistance training. Rucking could be a complete game changer for you. It could very well be the answer you've been looking for. And this is coming from a guy who goes to the gym every day and is a former competitive exerciser. I'm telling you, you don't have to go to the gym ever to lose weight and get fit if you don't want to. It's unnecessary. I'm not making friends with gym owners when I say that, but it's true. The gym is not an enjoyable place for a lot of people. I'm really all about giving everyone a fighting chance by removing as many barriers as possible when it comes to exercise. Like, I'm on your side. I firmly believe in the KISS principle. Keep it stupid simple. Think about rucking as movement with a purpose. It burns more calories than walking and it builds strength at the same time. You can call it active resistance training, meaning it's part active cardio and part strength resistance ruck training. It's the best of both worlds. It's basically walking on steroids. We're taking the minimum effective dose of exercise to the next level here, which then translates to permanent metabolic gains from stronger muscles and bones at a fraction of the cost to your knees because you're not running. Running is terrible for your knees. Running has the most injuries associated with it. Rucking also improves your posture, especially if you spend a lot of time sitting, because the weighted backpack pulls your shoulders back. It's a new habit that I picked up from listening to a book called The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter, and it's been a great addition to my exercise routine. Now you're probably wondering, okay, how do you get started? Just wear a backpack with weights inside it. Try to find a backpack with nice shoulder padding. If you have weight plates or a dumbbell, great, just stick it inside a backpack and you're good. If not, it's not a big deal. Just find an empty laundry detergent container, fill it with water, and throw it in your backpack. And there's your DIY rucksack. I just saved you $200. If you can't find either, just carry a piece of ruck with you. Get creative. Now, how much weight should you carry? According to GoRuck.com, when in doubt, start with 20 pounds. But if you're completely brand new, just start with 10 or even 15 pounds. Then just walk. It's as simple as that. How long should you go rucking for? As long as you want. It's kind of hard to overdo it. And you're going to be shocked how effective rucking is as a form of active resistance training. You can do it anytime and anywhere, regardless of your fitness level. It's also highly scalable, like you can increase the weight and the distance. Personally, it's become one of my new favorite forms of activity. Like, even if you're already fit, you'll still get tremendous benefits from rucking because it's going to increase your baseline level of fitness. I definitely feel it when I do Muay Thai because I'm so used to carrying a weighted backpack that when I do Muay Thai, I feel like I'm on springs because I'm just moving my own body weight. So if you're completely brand new, you're going to be pleasantly surprised by the level of fitness you can achieve just by rucking. Talk about redefining the minimum effective dose of exercise. Now, if you're someone who's been struggling losing weight for years, you've tried every diet under the sun, you've cut the fat, you've gone on a calorie deficit diet, you work out every day, but you just can't seem to lose the weight, or maybe you're feeling stuck because you've hit a weight loss plateau and you can't seem to get out of it, can't find answers, and you realize that it's time to get one-on-one professional help, then feel free to reach out to me. Just head on over to my website, newbiefitnessacademy.com/coaching, read through the page and the success stories, and fill out the application form for a free consultation. If I think that we're a good fit, then I'll personally reach out to you directly. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week, and feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Virtual high five.